So today I'm going to be responding against Ben's claim that online collegiate courses pose many great inherent challenges for students. He had 5 secondary claims. There were motivation to work online can be difficult, a lack of social interaction with other students reduces success and retention. Instructor availability is limited. Technology limits pose a great hindrance for students wanting to take online courses, and traditional classrooms are more effective at producing successful students. So I'm going to respond with the claim that online class courses serve as a positive method of education, with the secondary claims that online classes have a larger range of amount of students within a course. Online courses accommodates an individual better. Online classes create self-discipline, and online courses create an individual with technology oriented and including interaction online. By contrary, it stated that instructor availability is limited and traditional classrooms are more effective, but how can that happen when only a fraction of students seeking classes are able to obtain them? According to a New York Times article, 10 tips into getting into classes that you need. A dramatic shortage of places in classes at California state colleges. The crisis is nationwide. Public universities in economical distress states, Arizona, Florida, Michigan, and Ohio come to mind, simply don't have enough space to make spots to many classes to accommodate a student population growing at 4.5% each year. It's just not enough for the amount of students actually trying to get into classes. Within online classes, 1,500 undergraduates are enrolled, and no lecture halls could possibly hold that amount of students, according to New York Times. So it prolongs one's graduation track by since not many students are able to obtain the classes that they need. Online courses, my second secondary claim, online courses accommodates an individual better. Some students work better while being alone. So not many like the traditional settings. It allows you to study on your own time at your own home. You don't have to travel anywhere, and you do save a lot of money and time because of that. Students waste money for transportation. Not only does transportation account to 17% of its college students' budget, according to College Board, their age tends to pay the highest rates in car insurance. Also, time flexibility to help further priorities such as jobs. In 2007, nearly half, 45% of traditional undergraduates worked while enrolled. So this actually accommodates an individual better by money-wise and by in both jobs and study. Online classes. My third secondary claim is that online classes create self-discipline. It is said that motivation to work online can be difficult, but that doesn't mean it can't be done. In order to survive in this world, you must be responsible. He stated that traditional classes are more effective, but also in 2009, Liberty University, which is the online institute, had announced that it honored their largest graduating class of 6,350 students. So there are a lot of students actually obtain their degrees by completing the whole online course. According to Malloy Cross article titled Self-Discipline, Free Choice and Responsibility, self-discipline means self-teaching and self-government. Online institutions actually require you to have these self-discipline and by time management and organization skills, where the learner is able to complete assignments within due dates, manage course materials and content efficiently, and also motivation and drive to learn demonstrated through participation in forums and group work. So they actually require that many students that graduate to have these types of requirements in order to graduate. Also, Arthur Vincent Tinto once stated that students must themselves become responsible for their own learning. You must actually have the ability to be responsible in your own self, so that nobody pushes you to study. Because within life, I guess when you have to wake up for work, someone doesn't always tell you to wake up. So the institution requires that the individual have these skills needed to succeed: self-discipline, motivation. My last claim is that it creates an individual with technology oriented, including interaction online. My contract stated that the lack of social interaction with other students reduces success and retention, but many part-time individuals today consider something connected to technology to create interaction with other individuals. Daily Mail News reports that the average adult is awake for 15 hours and 45 minutes every day, and 45% of that time is spent using it on technology. So technology has a huge impact in our everyday lives. Interaction could be established because you get the chance of learning from an international school or a college that you could have your mindset. You may not be able to physically attend these courses, especially if the university is foreign. So like you are able to actually attend courses that may be impossible for you to attend them physically. Within today's technology, there's much interaction through social networks, creating the ability to communicate with individuals across the world. Yeah.
Well, the advocate had multiple supporting points that made it a little complicated, and you kind of respond in kind with your own argument that has multiple supporting points. Those supporting points, I think, sometimes do correspond to the advocate's claims, but not consistently, and I'm not sure why you're creating your own separate structure, since a lot of the arguments that you're making simply do respond to points that the advocate presented. So you don't necessarily need a counterclaim for each of the secondary claims. What you need to do is tell us how the evidence that you're going to present on that point responds to that particular point. So I think that it's organized more like it's its own speech rather than it's a refutation of the advocate's claims. Although I did hear refutation issues going on in the speech, and I thought you did a pretty good job on a couple of points making comparisons. One of the things that you did do was cite evidence pretty consistently to talk about the advantages of online classes. I thought you did okay on that. There are a couple of places where there's some assertions that need some proof. You mentioned at one point you think that some people work better alone. That's an assumption on your part. I didn't hear any evidence on that. The transportation cost issue, that's an interesting extra advantage. I don't know that it really responds to anything that the advocate's talking about. In a policy argument, this might be relevant, but I'm not sure it addresses anything that the advocate is making as a part of their claim. And then the desire to create, people who are self-sufficient and capable. I understand that this idea is an important one. The assumption that online resources can do that, I think, is what's missing. Especially, I don't remember exactly the evidence that the advocate presented, but it did seem to me like there was some information about people attempting classes and not completing them, and what the pass rate was and what the drop rate was being relatively high, and I think that you need to have some information that tends to overcome that. All right, thank you.